Today on the channel, we got a true blast from the past with the Kmart exclusive Hall of Fame Legends WWE Mattel Elite American Dream Dusty Rhodes.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for a throwback Mattel Elite unboxing and review. And today on the channel, we got the Kmart exclusive Mattel Elite Legends Hall of Fame American Dream Dusty Rhodes. But for your modern day wrestling figure needs, make sure you're hitting up Ringside Collectibles. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10%. Got to get a deal out there. And this was a heck of a deal, as this figure was free to me in my collection. As good friend of the channel, Thomas Belt, actually sent this figure to me for free to unbox here on the channel. So Thomas, gotta give a special good brother shout out to you for sending this my way. Easy for me to say. As Thomas has heard me in videos complain for years, as I had, of course, my Elites. When Elites first started collecting, dabbling, things like that, putting your accessories away, you don't really take as much care as maybe I do right now. And I got some big accessory bags of earlier Elite sets, earlier figures, things like that. Well, somewhere along the way, I lost the headband to my Dusty Rhodes, and it's been the bane of my existence for like the last 5 years. And I'm like, I know I have it somewhere, I'll find it. And then I finally said, you know what, I'm giving up the fight. I'm just gonna have to finally buy one of these, put it on the long game to-do list, and I'll buy a Dusty so I can have him, of course, with his headband. You gotta have it. Well, Thomas, nice enough, said, hey, I have an extra one of these beat up, damaged card. You're gonna open it anyways. Could I send this to you? And I said, yes, and I'm very thankful of Thomas to send this my way. This is going to a good home, of course, you guys do know. But we're, of course, going to do this review like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. And without further ado, let's dive in on this one here. Old Dusty Rhodes looking good. Of course, Dusty Rhodes, a favorite of mine, especially more as I got a little bit older. I remember him being around in polka dots, things like that. And then as a little kid going to the VHS store, getting some old NWA tape of the Blood and Guts Dusty, which I absolutely loved. Of course, then him going from NWA to WCW, WWE, back and forth, into ECW, and then finally into the WWF at the end of his run. A lot of cool figures of Dusty over the years, and this one was like kind of the step in the next generation after Jakks Class Superstars. Mattel took over, this figure being from 2010, the beginnings, of course, as we do know, of the Mattel run as they took over from Jakks, and then this being the Hall of Fame Kmart exclusive. Not a lot of difference really between the regular edition of this. The Hall of Fame has the Hall of Fame logo, and of course does the Hall of Fame plaque in here, which is just a little piece of cardboard, so not a ton of bells and whistles, but you guys know how it goes. These retailers, they want exclusives. They want to drive people to their stores, even back in the day. And some may say, I don't say it, but some have. I've heard the chatter that this line killed Kmart. Kmart went out of business because of this line. Not enough people went over there. Cost them an arm and a leg. They had to close down. Blue light specials gone across the board. I don't know. Somebody feel free to fact check that one if they want to. But I'm very happy to get this Dusty in my collection, and figured an old school unboxing is the way to go. And it's very interesting, as of right now, the Legends line, of course, has went back to a take on this old packaging, kind of an amalgamation of different packaging designs with a little bit of influence from this one as well. So I think that is pretty cool. But let's get into it. Let's take a look at old Dusty. Let's see what he's up to here in the package. Got the old classic Hall of Fame logo. Love that big image of Dusty in the background there, looking good. Of course, old school Elite Dusty in there, soft goods shirt. Got that bandana. Oh, that bandana. The American Dream Dusty Rhodes. We see a little bit of this in the new packaging design, of course. Display stand included. Gotta love that. And then they got the air holes on the side of the package as well, so Dusty can breathe, of course. They don't want him to suffocate inside the package, as we do know. But not a lot there. And then on the back, got the big cross cell down below. You got the huge blurb, Dusty Rhodes glamour shot. Let's see what it says about old Dusty on the back here. The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, titles, NWA Champion, NWA Tag Team Champion, United States Champion, NWA Television Champion. Memorable moments, perhaps the most satisfying victory in Dusty Rhodes' legendary career came during the Great American Bash Tour in 1986, a 13-city NWA Summer Extravaganza. Rhodes had the opportunity of a lifetime when he faced NWA champion Ric Flair, his arch rival, inside a steel cage. At the tour's second-to-last event in Greensboro, North Carolina, the bad blood between the two made the match a classic, and it was Rhodes who pinned Flair with a small package to win the NWA title for the third time. Celebrate the legendary careers of these WWE Hall of Famers. Talk about a home run Series 1. Stone Cold Steve Austin, Sergeant Slaughter, Terry Funk, Jimmy Superfly Snuka, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and the American Dream Dusty Rhodes. Very, very cool right there. Very cool. Of course, coming off of classic superstars, they tried to make these as different as possible because the legend of Jack still looming large. The takeover, they said, hey, if we come out with Sergeant Slaughter, Terry Funk, Superfly, Steamboat, big coup, major coup right there, Dusty, Stone Cold, we got to make them different than the Jack's classic superstars counterparts, and that's what they did across the board. So that was a good move on Mattel's way, I would say there. $14.99 old school Kmart sticker on the top. If only Elites for $14.99 in this day and age. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. But maybe on clearance, I guess. Clearance possibility. So let's get old Dusty out of the package. There it is. Pull old Dusty right there. All right. We got the little Hall of Fame plaque. And we're ready to go. Got old Dusty looking good. See you later. Goodbye. Got the Hall of Fame little deal right there. Bam. See you later. Goodbye. And let's get down to it here. Plastic prison for old Dusty Rhodes, looking nice, and he's got rubber banded in. And these rubber bands just as strong as the day they were made, so that's kind of a nice touch there. Usually those things kind of disintegrate and fall apart over time. Doesn't seem to be the case right here. Oh my gosh, now he's covered in rubber bands. We got to free Dusty from the rubber bands, the tentacles of the rubber bands. Get him out of there. And can I get this? Can I get this out? Might have to go in this way. There it is. Oh, there we go. All right. See you later. Goodbye. All right. Now let's get down to Dusty here. Let's look at these accessories first. And we do get the stand, but it is a gold stand, which was really cool to make the legends feel different from the regular figures. So we get the gold stand on old American Dream Dusty Rhodes here. Like that one, and a lot of people do ask me the question, Kyle, why do you use black stands with your Mattel Elites? Well, longtime collectors of the Elite line know we started off with getting black stands with every single figure, so it was easy to continue that on. Had to do it all over again. I probably would have went clear stands, but I'm in too deep. I'm in too deep to start over, but it is what it is. But we got gold stand right here, WWE logo, scratch logo on there, and then you get the little file card here. Very cool for collectors. I always did like that. They did stop doing all of this stuff, as we do know, as the line did progress. Then to make this the Hall of Fame, you got the little Hall of Fame plaque right here. The American Dream Dusty Rhodes, class of 2007, a banger of a class, as we do know. They really put a lot of guys in those classes early on. They should have kind of spread the wealth out with some of the names. Some of those ones had like 5 headliners in the same class. I think if they had to do it over again, they would have extended it out a little bit more. But Dusty looking good. Got to keep that plaque, of course. But now let's dive into Dusty, the figure itself, of course, as well. Now we've got updated versions of this Dusty, and we'll do some comparisons a little later in this video here. But really good for the time. We're going back 13 years, remember, on here. I could see people giving this one grief, just like we see people in reviews giving grief to Jakks figures, LJNs, Hasbros. How could anybody play with them? How could anybody do it? Well, you're looking at it with modern eyes. You go back to 2010, this was like, wow, game changer, game changer. Just actually blew the roof off the place for sure. But Dusty, big old Dusty, all day long, you know who it is in the face. Got that blonde hair and got that beautiful headband on there. I'll never lose this headband again. It's on there for good. Soft goods polka dot shirt as well on Dusty. Of course, the shirt is removable. You take that bad boy off very easily. Just peels on off. No different than in this day and age, of course. Peel that there. You do got his nice patented birthmark looking interesting. Unfortunately, after all these years, we got a little bit of staining in the old armpits on old Dusty there. So we're going to keep those armpits down. We don't want to show off that staining, Dusty. But he got a little staining on here. A little bit of fibers from the shirt as well, but it looks pretty good. You really can't find that staining unless you really put his arms in some unnatural poses. But there is a little bit of staining, not just for 2023 and 2024 anymore. Staining a problem for many years in action figures, as we know. But looking good here. He's got the patented elbow pad looking really good here. Then you got the black and, of course, yellow wrist tape, which only means one thing. Exactly. Dusty rocking the striper. Huge fan of Oz Fox. Huge fan of Michael Sweet. He's ready to take it on the road back in the day, I think. I heard somebody fact-check this one. Maybe a good friend of the channel, Cody Rhodes, might know the story. But I think he tried to get Striper for one of those Great American Bash events. Could not come to financial terms and settled for David Allen Coe. Somebody fact-check that if they want to, but I believe that's how the story does go. But interesting here, of course, black polka dots on the knee pads as well. And the patented Dusty cowboy boots looking really good here. Got Rhodes on the side as well. So in case he loses them in the locker room, hey, wait a minute, Manny Fernandez. Those are my boots. They say my name on it. They say Rhodes. They don't say Fernandez. I can see it. It writes itself, really. Articulation, old school articulation. Arms go all the way around. Bicep cut. Single jointed elbows. Hands back and forth. Got the fist of fury on Dusty. He's ready to throw down. Gripping hand over here, head back and forth, side to side, waist articulation, ab crunch going on. Decent splits for Dusty. Leg does not really go up very well on this bigger body mold for whatever reason. You do get a thigh cut, single jointed knees, got the pins in them, boot cut, ankles back and forth, up and down. Of course, he does fit on this stand. Got to throw him on the stand, ready to go. Oh, very tight, maybe. There we go. There we go. Had to power through it. But Dusty is ready to rock and roll. He's here 2010. I can't believe this is a 14-year-old figure at this point. Man, time, what is it? Where is it going? But very cool to get this. Got to thank Thomas once again for helping me out, getting this in my collection after all these years. Right and a wrong is what it's doing, since now I feel complete once again with old Dusty. But we've had a few other Dusties. We did have a basic version of this. Was this part of the SummerSlam Basic series? I think that was the case. This came out a few years later, so we did get a basic version of this. And then more recently, part of, was it last year or 2 years? What is time, once again? Last couple of years here, we got a WrestleMania set, and we got Dusty, kind of a different look, a different take on this same version of Dusty. And I selfishly was kind of hoping they'd throw the same headband in, because then I could just buy one of these and just be done with it. But didn't have to do that after all was said and done. But we get this Dusty here. A wild Dusty. A lot of people did not like the head sculpt on this one. I absolutely love it. I think it looks amazing in person. Maybe the people that don't like it didn't really know Dusty and his crazy facial expressions back in the day. But absolutely do like Dusty Rhodes. A favorite after all these years. Talk about the common man. Talk about overcoming. Talk about success in the wrestling business when you don't look quite like a lot of different wrestlers out there, especially in the 80s. Something special about Dusty Rhodes all these years later, and something special about this figure back in the infancy of the Mattel Elite line. So there it is, the Elite Hall of Fame Kmart exclusive American Dream Dusty Rhodes. What are your guys' thoughts? You remember buying these back in the day? You remember picking these ones up? Remember going to Kmart? Man, what a magical time that was, old Kmart. A lot of trips to Kmart back in the day. Venture, also, I think they were out of St. Louis, but they came up to my area. So I had Kmart, I had Venture, Walmart, Target, you had KB Toys, you had Toys R Us, you had the Pomidas, the Ben Franklins, the Alcos, Children's Palace for a little bit till Toys R Us really took over in my area. There was a lot of places to go on the hunt for toys. It was a wild time. Now, we're pretty much online, Target and Walmart, and that's pretty much it, unfortunately. Different times, no doubt about it. But let me know your thoughts on the American Dream Dusty Rhodes. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. You made it this far, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bells. We got videos every single day, and then some. We got even more content for you, of course, on Patreon, including early access to videos like this, much earlier access to videos like this over on Patreon. Patreon, the best way to support the channel. You can also sign up as a free member of the Patreon now. They do have that available option. Support the channel. Check out the Patreon. Check out ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. And don't forget social media. SirPaul64 on the X. _Kyle_Peterson on Threads and on Instagram. So for the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.